Hello everyone to this special episode of the Retro Viking Podcast. Last Sunday, September 23rd, I had a special guest on the podcast, none other than Phantasmagoria's own David Homb. David played the role of Dom, the crazy boyfriend that runs after Adrian all over the house. And I reached out to David and he agreed to answer a few questions. You might notice a difference in the audio quality of the podcast, so please excuse the little technical difficulties that we might have had, including on my part. The small echo was not purposely made, so again I apologize for that. But with that said, we managed to ask David a few questions and it turned out to be an excellent interview. So I present to you the interview with David Homb. Enjoy.
You're listening to the Retro Viking Podcast, the best retro gaming podcast on the market. Let's stream like it's 1998.
We are with David Homb, and he is one of the lead characters from the Phantasmagoria classic FMV game from 1995, if I recall correctly. 1993, 1995? So, yes, I reached out to David, and he agreed to answer a few questions. So, first of all, thank you millions of times for agreeing to share a few minutes of your busy time and tell us.
It's my pleasure. Yeah.
So, for those that do not know who David is, there's this awesome game called Phantasmagoria that came out in 1995, which was one of my favorite games growing up. And it was a classic horror game, and there was a lot of new concept, and hopefully David will be able to tell us a little about it. So David used to you played the role of Don, who was the main character's boyfriend, his crazy boyfriend. So, but before you started acting as Don, I believe you were already an actor, right? So you had already had a few roles. So can you tell us a little bit about how you decided to become an actor?
Decided to become an actor long time ago when I was 15, 14. So theater, then TV, movies, until the game, and then TV mostly, a few movies after that.
Okay, and do you remember, how you got the initial role at when you were called out to do Phantasmagoria? How did it go basically? I'm just curious to know what was the process behind everything.
I got a call from casting director, and then from the director's wife,
okay,
that they wanted to see me for it. I didn't know anything about it at the time. Evidently, they had been looking around. And so I went in and met with Victoria, and in one day we put it all together. So it was an awesome experience.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And before you started acting in Phantasmagoria, do you like video games? Were you a gamer back in the 90s?
I had not played a video game yet. I had performed in one. It was some big audition in LA. One of the first union contracts to do a game.
Okay.
That was different. It was blue screen, and never really knew what I was doing. And then Phantasmagoria was about a year later.
Okay, that's good. So how was it when you initially got the role? How natural was it for you to get into the role of Dawn in Phantasmagoria?
I got it from day one. I don't know if that says something about my personality. But when I got off the plane and they handed me the script, it was this thick, and I was used to movies and TV. And he said, "Think of The Shining, but possessed even more."
Wow. Okay.
And, right up my alley.
Oh, that's good. So,
sisters, right up my alley.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. So I know that Daniel Di Stefano from our Facebook group, he sent me a question that he wanted me to ask you. Other than being a natural for this type of role, did you get a lot of coaching from the directors when you were performing Dawn in Phantasmagoria?
Absolutely, from the director and from Roberta herself. Because this was so new. This was a 10,000 square foot blue screen with no props. It was improv more than anything, because we couldn't see the rendition of the set until after we had already shot the game. Did we see what the actual location looked like and everything? So, yeah, we got a lot of direction and a lot of liberty to experiment. A lot of it was experimenting.
So since, and I do believe that this was probably one of the biggest projects. The budget was huge at that time for a video game. Since it was a relatively new technology, most games before they used to be programmed, now it was filmed. It was like an interactive movie. How did it feel to be part of a game where everything was green screen? Where, like, when you had to open a door and there was no door in front of you. What was the process behind everything?
They had the set taped off with lines that would say living room wall, theater wall.
Okay.
So you had to make sure your elbow or arm didn't cross that line, or else you were in the next room. So it was very detailed. It was a lot of work. It was not as easy as doing a movie, actually, to me.
Especially since in this case it's almost an imaginary movie. Everything is digitally keyed in.
Petting a cat that's not there, and everything. We had to make it all.
That cat! I remember the jump scare I got the first time I saw that cat.
And everything else, we just had to just go with it. It was fun. It was so fun.
One of the things that I always wanted to ask you, when I was young, I always told myself, if one day for whatever reason you become an online Facebook streamer, I didn't say that, but and if I had a chance to meet you or speak with you, I wanted to ask you, do you remember any interesting behind the scenes stories that maybe could be interesting for the people? Anything special that you remember happened?
Well, the first time we got to tour, Tori and I, the Sierra Studios, where all the programmers were going over everything, maybe like what you do a lot of or aware of, that really blew our minds. It gave us a whole different perspective. But the fun stuff around the set, was, when I'm chasing her, I did a lot. My face falling off. A lot of the gory stuff.
I remember seeing some video shot of how they did some of the effects, and it was not the effects, even if the game is CGI and mostly computer effects. There's a lot of real gory effects, and I know that there was a lot of. I remember seeing a shot of when Carno was on the chair and his head was burning. It was a real fire, and I believe it was a puppet. It was a mannequin at one point, hopefully.
Yeah,
and there was like a whole there were firefighters to make sure everything was going smoothly. So it was really some awesome effects for back in the day. Even today, we don't see many effects like that.
Right. We had a great production staff, and yeah, we had the fire department and medical crew there quite a bit just in case. But that was puppet right at the end, all the way up there until they lit the fire. But the stuff with me and a lot of it's all makeup.
I wanted to ask you if you were in charge of writing Dawn's if you were in charge of writing Dawn's character, if you had 100% creative control over what he would do, how different would Dawn have turned out based on what the original story was?
It would have made a difference had I been able to know what the actual visual end product was going to look like. I think it would have put me more into the film acting mode, which is a little more real. I don't know if that sounds right.
No, I get what you're saying.
I also, in the rape scene, wanted to show my butt, and they wouldn't let me do it.
Damn it. I remember I played Phantasmagoria on Facebook and on Twitch about a month and a half ago, and it was funny because a lot of people that had never played the game, they all arrived when it was that scene, and they were like, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you playing? Is this a game?" I'm like, "Oh man, okay, now I have to explain everything." Now you see this guy, he's the boyfriend. No, I know she's crying, but no. It was like, it was an awkward moment, but it was a great scene.
Yeah, Roberta, that was something she really wanted in there, and Peter, the director, and Roy and I, we were fine with whatever, and they put us up against a blue piece of plywood and said, "There's a sink here, and this is going to be a very extreme scene for the day." And so I thought it was going to be so extreme. I want to show my butt. I started in 36 movies and I never got to show my butt.
So, I can imagine how romantic it would have been. Like, I'm trying to picture it with the blue plywood in the back. It's like, okay, no, but I'm to be honest, I'm not sure why. Maybe the game was already classified as a mature game, so I don't think I know. Who am I to question what Miss Roberta Williams decided? But I would have said yes. I would have shown your butt with pride in the game.
It was funny to us because a lot of the places the game were banned. Amazing. That's where I got the most fan mail from.
Of course.
I supposed to be there.
Oh no, that was good. So other than the stories, was there any? I wish that we would be able to see all the bloopers that happened. Do you remember any mistakes or any bloopers that you still remember today as being awesome? How long did the recording take? It took several months, if I'm not mistaken.
It took 4 or 5 months, I believe.
Wow. So
quite a while.
So over those 4 or 5 months, do you remember any specific blooper that in any particular scene or anything like that?
Nothing that stands out. There was so many funny things that happened because, like I said, we're experimenting with so much, and it's a lot of multiple cameras, on dollies and on booms and on tracks, and just to get it all mapped out right, and us stand there, and there was a lot of funny stuff that happened. But nothing that overly jumped out at me.
I got another question. This time it's from, and I'm sorry I'm going to butcher your name, from Mr. John Warinsky from our Facebook group. He sent me a message and he wants me to ask you, did you get the role based on your ability to have the creepy stare, sort of like in The Shining, or did you have to change anything for the role? Either way, you are sexy. So,
thank you very much. I don't know, I think my eyes helped a lot, but I don't know, it just gelled from the first day that I went in and Victoria and I read together, because I guess she read with quite a few people, and from day one, from almost moment one, it was perfect. Could feel it.
I know. You mentioned your eyes. I recall when I first started streaming Phantasmagoria, I have one of my regular members that came to visit me. His name is Vincent Stevens, and he basically told me, "Hey man, this guy's cute," and yeah, he's pretty good looking. With those boots, it was the boots as well, the eyes and the boots.
Eyes and the boots, yeah.
And I had another question for you. What is your favorite scene from the game? The one that made you the most proud of taking part of the project?
Gosh, I don't know. I love so much of it. We together, we had a lot of fun with the darkroom stuff, and the chasing. Although it was repetitious, but I mean, there was a lot of chasing. We had a lot of fun with the darkroom stuff. I can't remember anything right off the bat that I just loved more than anything, because the whole thing was just a blast. It was so fun. It was one of the funnest jobs I ever had.
Nice. That's good to hear. And I gotta know, what is the best type of drain cleaner that you use these days?
The one from the 99-cent store.
Okay. It gets the job done.
Especially as much of it as I use. Yeah.
You mentioned the chase scene, and I'm still getting chills. Last time when I played a month and a half ago, I got up to the chase scene, and you know what? The first 6 days, the first 60 days, it's all like, okay, yeah, this is cool, this is fun. The game's not too hard. I remember pretty much what to do, and then when I got to part 7, I'm like, gosh, this is gonna start. And there's something. Just when I usually play a video game, when there's a timer involved, like when I'm rushed to do something, I get stressed. So imagine now when I have my boyfriend that's running and trying to kill me. It's like, oh my god, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? And I think I died like 10,000 times trying to finish the game. The chase scene, it's one of the most epic scenes from growing up. I still remember it, and I remember how many times I died. So,
yeah, it was funny. It was a few years back. They had Let's Play Phantasmagoria on YouTube, and it was people all over the world, and I watched a couple from Germany play it, and the wife, she played it a lot, and the husband thought it was silly because he liked board games. Yeah. She said, do it. And I watched them for 2 hours. They played, and he died, and he died. You finished your game.
I'm trying to remember because when I played a month and a half ago, I went straight for the book. I was lucky enough to have somebody that had guided me. He was like, "Oh, you might want to take that snowman. Yeah, you might want to take." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I remember the snowman. Okay," because it had been like almost 20 years since I had last played the game, so my memory was kind of fuzzy. But oh man, I still remember. I think the funniest part, or not the funniest, the scariest part when I was young is when I remember trying to run in the basement, and there was like this elevator that you had to crank, and suddenly, the elevator stops, and you're on top, and you're like, whoa! And I can't do it loud because my 3-month-old son is sleeping not too far away, but that laugh, it still gives me chills.
Good. Good.
Oh man, so I
appreciate it.
So you mentioned that Phantasmagoria was one of the most fun projects that you worked with. So that's pretty good. I wish that we had more games with your character, with you in it. It would be pretty fun. Would you do it again if considering that technology evolved? If somebody would approach you and say, "Hey, David, I have this new horror game, The Revenge of Dawn," would you actually do it, or even if it's not the Dawn character?
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool.
I think I'd be even scarier now.
Oh man. Okay, guys, if any of you make video games, all right, you gotta do it. We gotta have a sequel or something. Actually, I wanted to take a few moments, if you don't mind, David. I want to talk about a charity event that's coming up in about 1 month from now. and it's for a very good cause. It's a charity event that's called Extra Life, and I'm going to be participating for the 6th year in a row. And basically what it is people all across North America, we gather up on November 3rd, so it's going to be a Saturday, and for 24 hours people play video games, they play board games, and it's all to gather funds for the Children's Miracle Network. So it's for sick children all across North America. And the Retro Viking team, we are trying to gather $2,000 this year. So it's going to be our goal. Hopefully, we'll be able to crush it. So I just wanted to mention it because I do know that this is something. It's good to spread the word. So I do apologize for taking a little bit of time for that.
That is awesome. That is a wonderful thing. That's awesome. Wonderful thing you're doing. I appreciate.
All right.
I applaud you very much.
Thank you for those that are interested. There's a link. There's going to be a link in the description if you guys want to take a look. If you guys want to participate, and if you guys think you can last 24 hours, and even if you can't last the 24 hours, that's not the point. The point is to gather up funds for the children. So again, I just wanted to interrupt real quick with that. Also, I wanted to.
I'll be a part of it.
Oh, nice. Oh, this is interesting. All right, we'll have to schedule something up. Actually, one of the things that I also wanted to ask you is the way that I initially found you. I didn't want to because I reached out to you on Facebook. However, I didn't reach out to you personally. I found this Phantasmagoria page, which I believe that you have set up. Is that correct?
No, I didn't set that up. No, that was set up by a lady in Israel years, three years at least before I ever found out about it. Asked if I would get on there and talk to everybody, and so that was my involvement. So that's cool. It's been a real nice thing to be able to talk to everybody. I've heard so many stories that made me cry of the way people were affected. You never know how you're affecting people. You never do. I think you're doing a fun game, and it actually can affect people. One gal was in the hospital, and she was a limited time to live, and her parents gave her the game to play. And she said she got so entranced in it, and in my eyes, and she's still a friend. She's gone through the remission, and she has 2 children now and married, and stories like that mean more than anything else.
Wow, that's a great story, and I totally agree. Sometimes there's a lot of people that sometimes we don't realize the impact that we have. Sometimes we think, okay, it's just a game, or it's just a Facebook video, but no, and I agree. It's a great story, and you're right. Sometimes we don't realize how many lives we can touch. So
whatever anyone's doing in life, you never know what little thing you're doing, how it's maybe affecting or helping somebody that you'll never even know about. But just always do your best and do good and try hard. When there's people being affected, you never know about it.
Yeah, that's good. No, I can't argue with that. That's great. So, how about now that we went through your days with Sierra and the Phantasmagoria? I just wanted to ask you a few more questions because not everything stopped in 1995. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about what do you do now? Like in 2018, what have you been doing for the last 25 years?
I haven't done much of anything. I kind of got burned out. Yeah, I kind of got burned out on showbiz, Hollywood. Decided to take a break, and then I've been selling real estate in Houston for a while, and have just decided very recently, go ahead, get back out there because the entertainment is what's in my blood. I love it. Took a very long break.
Okay, So you weren't kidding when you were saying that if you had the chance to do another acting gig in a video game. So okay, so you're actually still in the market. That's good. And I apologize. I have to say, if Don would be selling me a house, I would say yes. I wouldn't have a choice. I don't want to die, so I would say yes right away. Do people recognize you? Like, has it come?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Okay, and I mean, if they recognize you? I mean, again, and honestly, I would be so like, okay, honey, we have to buy the house. I don't care how much it costs. Yeah, we're buying it.
Yeah, it's been hard a number of times, to get them to focus on
the house.
Focus on real estate when and from TV or from movies as well.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And okay, now I'm gonna appear. I'm gonna appear like if I'm stalking you, but that's not the case. Well, maybe a little bit. But I saw that you officially proposed to your girlfriend. I believe it was back in August. So congratulations. So how did you guys meet? Like, how does she feel? I presume that she knows a little bit about your history behind the character of Dawn in Phantasmagoria. So how does she feel to be engaged to one of the top FMV guys from the 90s?
Well, I think she's very happy about it. She's a sweetheart. We've known each other for so many years on the internet, and I was traveling in Europe back in May, and we met up and felt like we knew each other forever, and love at first sight, and very excited, very happy about the future. She's wonderful. She's wonderful.
No, she does sound wonderful. The way that you describe her, and it looks like the perfect fairy tale.
Beautiful daughters. Two absolutely beautiful daughters.
Okay, that's good. That's really good. So are you going to be moving? Are you going to be moving to Europe, or is she going to come to Houston?
Don't know exactly yet.
Okay, I don't want to cause any trouble.
Just don't know yet. We're taking it.
Okay.
As we can.
That's good. Did you guys set a date for the wedding? Like, do you have an idea of when approximately?
Well, we'd like to do it tomorrow, but we're going to have to wait a little longer.
Okay. That's pretty cool. You mentioned that back in the 90s you were not a gamer. Have you started playing video games since then? Do you play sometimes some adventure games?
I've played a little bit, but I've never been a big gamer myself. I played a little of this, a little of that. I was always so much more into the movies and TV as far as my performing, my career. She is a big gamer. She's played every game there is, and was playing one as I put her to bed in Holland last night.
Okay, pretty cool. So, okay, well then I have to ask you. I wanted to ask you what your favorite video game is, but we'll switch to movies. What is I'll say the top 3 movies. If you had 3 movies to watch tonight, what would they be?
Let's see. I like, I'm a Texan, so I like Westerns, like Silverado.
Oh.
I like the Jurassic Park, Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Trek. I think you see where I go.
Yeah, no, that's good. Okay, well, you mentioned Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you more a Kirk fan? Are you a Picard fan? Like, which one is the best?
I'm a big Trekkie. Period.
Okay, so anything Trek, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Absolutely.
All right. How about we go? How about we ask the people? There's a few people that are on the stream now. Hey guys, how's it going? Do you have any questions for David? Maybe we can take 2 or 3 questions. I saw somebody mention. Well, now that everybody's talking about Star Trek, I hope I didn't launch a tricky debate.
No, all the Marvel comics, Guardians of the Galaxies, Iron Man, all of those. I watched all of them.
Okay, did you see the last Avenger movie?
Yes.
I only saw the ending. It's like, okay, everybody dies, or half the people die. Sorry, that was a spoiler, but everybody's seen the movie anyway. So, I see some people mention that. Well, Vincent says hello. Everybody says hello. So,
hello, everybody. Hello.
Paul Corman asks, "Hi, David. How many times have you played the game, and when was the last time you revisited it?" So, when was the last time that you basically played it? Thanks, mate.
Probably about 7 years ago when I was turning some friends on to playing it. I had signed a copy for them and given it to them, and they had never played it. I helped them through it. Yeah. I cheated a little. I helped them through some of it.
I remember every time that I played, I had somebody coming on my stream, and I renamed the little skull that gives you the hints. I gave him his name because he was always giving me hints all the time. Let's just see real quick. Do I have anything? Okay, Star Trek. Oh, somebody mentions Jurassic Park for the win. I was a big fan of Jurassic Park back when the first one came out, and after that, I don't know.
Yeah, I love Jurassic Park. It's always hard to beat the original. That blows your mind, but I think they're doing a pretty good job.
It's pretty cool. Oh, Natalia Cardona says, "Oh my God, I'm playing Phantasmagoria right now." Okay. That's good. All right. What chapter are you at, Natalia? And if you didn't get to chapter 7, I hope that you didn't listen to us ramble about what happens in chapter 7.
Yeah. Don't tell her what she needs.
Yeah, no. Grab that snowman. Sorry. I don't want to spoil it. Grab it. Make sure you have it. I saw somebody mention that they're working on another adventure game, Space. I'm trying to find it. Sorry, guys, I can't find it. Space Venture. And somebody said we gotta grab him for Space Venture. So now that you mentioned that you're looking for work, don't be surprised if the phone starts to ring from the independent guys.
Space Venture. That sounds
Space Venture.
Yeah, that sounds right up my alley.
And now I'm gonna have to pursue them to make sure that I get a heads up of any new information about you that comes out with them if you decide to join them. Vincent Steven is asking if you are still acting. So you did mention that you're going back into acting. Do you have any roles that are coming up?
No. No. I mean, I've done a few commercials, and I've had a few little films here and there offered. I just wasn't anything that jumped out at me. Nope, I'm wide open now that I'm engaged. I am wide open.
All right. That's good. Paul Corman wanted to ask you one more question. Do you know all the puzzles of Phantasmagoria by heart?
No. Interview like this, the first time I did an interview similar to this was before had even seen the game. And like I said, there was so much to it. And it wasn't a video interview. It was an audio one.
Okay.
And questions were coming out. And I didn't know the answer. I would say, let me think. So, they were like, "Are you sure it's you and you played? You did?" I said, I did it, but I mean, there's so much I don't.
Yeah, no, it's not because you're part of the game that it's a different. No, I understand what you mean. It's not because you acted in the game that you know everything, especially by heart, especially after 7 years of not playing it. So right. Don't worry about it. Even I consider myself a hardcore gamer, I didn't remember everything, so don't worry about it.
I can tell you, if I played it again tomorrow, I would die. I wouldn't make it.
Of course. Of course. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but Don dies in every game, so of course he would die.
Right.
I still have I still remember that pip hand slap. You bitch! And then okay, yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to spoil it for Natalia. That's not on disc 7. I think I might have something interesting. Mr. Tyler Drinkard says I'm an assistant programmer on that. I believe he's referring to the game that we were talking about, Space Adventures. I'll head up the Space Pope. He's the head cheese. I make no business decision. It's the Space Quest guys doing a spiritual successor. Oh, so it's the guys that originally did Space Quest. All right. So hey, like I said, you might get a phone call. Hopefully, if you do, I'm totally gonna be following it. So you guys make sure that you give David a phone call. All right. Somebody just liked it. All right. So was there anything else that you wanted to share with us? Do you have any special events or anything in particular that you wanted to finish the interview on?
No, the real thing I would like to say is a big thank you
us,
fans, and so many of them. So many people have become friends, and just love the support, and makes it all feel good. I really appreciate everybody.
Well, again, it's not because it's 25 years later that we forgot about you and the work that you did. So again, I want to thank you for taking a few minutes of your busy time to stay with us and tell us about you, your story. I'm excited now to know that you're going back on the into acting. So whatever is the role, as soon as you have something, let me know, and I will gladly follow you. And speaking of following you, what is the best way that people can find you if we want to reach out to you, or if we just want to know about you and your upcoming wedding that's coming up? So where can we find you?
Facebook, I guess. I think there's an email and a phone number on there that, if not a private message, people can reach me directly. They can also call the unions and reach me through those. And since I've only aged 5 days since Phantasmagoria, should be good to go.
Of course. You are as handsome as 25 years ago. So you still have those eyes. Do you still have the boots? Did you keep the boots?
I have my entire costume. Because back then, I had already done enough things to where it was in my contract to keep my costume. Because
Nice.
they auctioned everything in the game off.
Really?
Except my costume, and it's in my closet here.
Okay, well, yeah, you better keep it. Of course, that's Don. Okay, so I don't want to promise anything, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but we'll definitely have to do another video. I'm gonna have to interview Don in real time. Maybe for the 24-hour Extra Life event. Huh?
That would be great. I would love to.
We'll see.
That is an awesome thing you're doing, and I would love to help.
All right. So thank you again, David, for answering our questions, for taking time. Again, I can't wait to hear about what's going to happen, and I wish you and your fiance the best, as well as everybody on your end.
My Jenny, she's my Jenny, and I want to thank all of y'all, everybody out there. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you everybody for asking your questions, and for anybody that missed the beginning, everything will be recorded, and we will also have an audio version if you want to hear Mr. David Homb's beautiful voice. So with that said, I hope everybody has a nice evening. All right, take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Retro Viking Podcast. This episode was made possible thanks to our Patreon supporters. If you'd like to support and get involved with the podcast, become a Patreon today. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube.
Oh.